Good morning, house guests, and welcome to House of Chatter Haunted House Calls. Today, we will be talking about, I'm not sure how to describe this, but a message from the paranormal. And I will get into that a little bit later, but let's start off with our regular tarot reading. Um, because we're going to be talking about the Winchester Mystery House, I'll also tell you this was the night that me and my now husband, the one that I talked about with the psychic, that is the night that he asked me to be his girlfriend on a trip that we could not make it to. So I'll go more into that story and you'll understand why I'm doing this tarot reading. Basically, we are separated, just like the psychic said, but the psychic also said that we would get back together. So let's see if it's actually in the cards or not. Because another psychic said I might go into a different relationship, but a different long-term relationship. Okay. So let's do our normal shuffle, which, I don't really know which way I turn these. So we'll just turn these any old way. Remember, shuffle until you don't feel like shuffling anymore. I'm actually going to do this. Just to make it a good shuffle, because we are asking what my future is holding. Okay. And we always like to do my star. Okay. Upside down tower. Or reverse tower. And I'm using pencil, so let's hope that works. Okay. Reverse 8 of Wands. Are you seeing anything for me yet? Any predictions? I'll probably do this off camera because it's so personal. Judgment. Dun, 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 dun. Is what I'm getting from that. I'm actually surprised at that card. The Devil. See? Reverse Ace of Wands. And our final card, Death. Death doesn't mean unliving. It can mean the end of something. So that's interesting. So now that I'm a little creeped out, let's go on to our story of the night. So I wanted to do this episode because I had noticed an ex that someone was going to spend the night in a haunted hotel, and I had replied that they were very lucky. And they said that they were going to take pictures. And I had replied something to the effect of I hope they're paranormal and I hope they have a message. Now, I'm going to say that I do believe that the photograph that I got from the Winchester Mystery House was not only paranormal, it was also a message. So my girlfriends went to, so I will tell you a little bit of the history of the Winchester Mystery House, and then I'll tell you a little bit about the story, like I've said. So the Winchester Mystery House is located in San Jose, California. And I'll read off of what the site says. It says, it's a wonder. The Winchester Mystery House is an architectural wonder and historic landmark in San Jose, California. That was once the personal residence of Sarah Lockwood Pardee Winchester, the widow of William Wirt Winchester, and heiress to a large portion of the Winchester repeating arms fortune. Tragedy befell Sarah. Her infant daughter died of a childhood illness, and a few years later, her husband was taken from her by tuberculosis. Shortly after her husband's death, Sarah left their home in New Haven, Connecticut, and moved out west to San Jose, California. There she bought an 8-room farmhouse and began what could only be described as the world's longest home renovation, stopping only when Sarah passed away on September 5th of 1922. And here are some facts of the home. From 1886 to 1922, construction seemingly never ceased as the original 8-room farmhouse grew into the world's most unusual and sprawling mansion, featuring 24,000 square feet. Wow. 10,000 windows, 2,000 doors, 160 rooms, 52 skylights, 42 stairways and fireplaces, 17 chimneys, 13 bathrooms, and 6 kitchens. 6 kitchens is what I'm amazed at for some reason. Looks like it was built at a price tag of $5 million in 1923, or $71 million today. And now on to the mystery, according to the website. But what remained is indeed a mystery. Even before her passing, rumors of a mystery house being built by an eccentric and wealthy woman swirled. Was she instructed to build the home by a psychic? Was she haunted by the ghost of those felled by the gun that won the West? Did construction truly never stop? What motivated a well-educated socialite to cut herself off from the rest of the world and focus almost solely on building the world's most beautiful yet bizarre mansion? Whether driven by grief, guilt, or something more not unknowable, she continued expanding her home without a master plan. What she left behind was a sprawling labyrinth full of mystery and legend. Sarah Winchester was a woman of independence, drive, and courage who lives on in legend, and the mansion she built is world renowned as much for the many design curiosities and innovations, many ahead of their time, as it for or is it for the paranormal activity that resides within these walls. These mysteries and more are what has drawn over 12 million guests to visit the Winchester Mystery House since the doors opened June 30th, 1923. Will you be able to unlock the mystery? So it's a world famous destination. They have a number of tours, and I believe they went in February But now that it's Halloween, we can just go over some of the tours that they offer. And they also have like an online tour too, which is pretty cool. I might check that out. I have a basement access tour. I don't think they toured the basement. I think they did the 60-mile guided tour through 110, 160 rooms. Guests will be able to see the infamous rooms of Sarah's stately mansion, known around the world as the Winchester Mystery House, and unique attributes that give the Mystery House mansion its name. They did like a night tour. Here is the immersive virtual 360 tour. The Winchester Mystery House is offering guests unprecedented access to the most beautiful and bizarre Victorian mansion. This virtual experience allows guests to it's not virtual, you just independently roam each level of the mansion while exploring many rooms previously inaccessible on standard estate tours. Enjoy unlimited virtual access in 360 and go behind the ropes. I think they did that one. Video access tour. This is a video access tour. We invite our guests to explore the captivating story behind the walls of this historic estate without ever leaving the comfort of your home. An online tour experience for those guests that are unable to travel. The official video tour is available to rent or purchase. That's neat. They also have a garden tour. So this is the story. They had an opportunity to do a night tour, and I believe it was at like midnight or something like that. Anyway, it was dark. Perfect time to do a ghost hunting tour because a lot of these are during the day. And they took a series of just like benign photographs. They didn't even have dust in them. And then I guess my friend was taking photos with her iPhone. She's got an iPhone. And I guess it took a burst of photos because she was sending me these really pretty photos of like doors and things like that. And all of a sudden, there's like this, I guess, burst of photos. And she sent them and she's like, I don't even remember taking these photos. And I'm looking at them and they have like a number 2. And I'm like, doesn't that look like the number 2? And I'm not sure if my boyfriend at the time or almost boyfriend at the time either asked me to be his girlfriend before or after the number 2, but he was communicating with me through text message and I hadn't even told him, that I missed like that this paranormal activity was going on. We both missed the tour for private reasons. And he asked me to be his girlfriend and he's like, it can be 2. So our anniversary was actually supposed to be 2022. Instead, he always thought it was 2022, which we always joke about. But the fact, one, I'm super in numerology, but the fact that photo pops up, I believe I told my girlfriends the next day. He asked me to be his girlfriend and our number is going to be number 2 and look at this photo. And I posted on X so that you can see. But yeah, I think it was a message from somebody or maybe a sign. Nobody else had paranormal activity. So the one person who wasn't even there for the paranormal haunting or activity got it I was 3 hours away. Um, so maybe the paranormal just likes me, or maybe it was a sign from my late husband saying it was okay to move on. That could also be a possibility. I don't know. But that's my story of the Winchester Mystery House. What do you guys think? I still think it's kind of incredible. Check out X House of Chatter. The photo is posted, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.